Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WrestleHorror. Greetings, viewers and listeners. Happy Halloween. Yes, by the time you hear this, it'll be Halloween will be over, but we are actually recording this episode on Halloween. And joining me as always, my co-host, Donnie Hoover. Donnie, we had an awesome time Friday night, didn't we?
Oh, amazing time Friday night. We couldn't have been more happy with it.
You know, it was, it takes a special someone to get me out of retirement. And Donnie reached out to me and said, "Hey, Jim, I need you there." We were at Fortress Obetz. What is it? Was it the Fright Funnel? Is that what it was called?
Fear Fortress, the Fright Funnel. It was a long name, but we're going to work on changing that.
And after 2 years, I got out there and got to scare some people. Oh my gosh, I know how much I missed it. The body's still arguing with me today, and this is Sunday. But I wouldn't trade the pain for anything in the world because nothing's better than a good scare. How about you, Donnie?
Oh, same. Yeah, like I said, this was just a project that fell in our lap, on short notice. We had off and on, less than a month to get it ready. And we weren't there every day, 10 hours a day. We were only there limited hours per day, whenever we could get there. So it was actually less time in that. But yeah, the body's feeling it. I was putting in my 10,000 steps plus every single day. And I think, for like Thursday, I had 15,000 steps. The Friday, the night of the haunt, I had over 24,000 steps. And then, I went to Carnage the Saturday night after that and got in another 15,000 steps. So my knees and ankles and legs, and they're not too happy with me right now. And I'm paying for it.
But, I've got to say, Donnie, the project got dropped into your lap, severely limited amount of time. And quite frankly, I was skeptical, given the amount of time you had.
Mm-hmm.
However, for the amount of time that you did have, I think it worked. It came together.
Oh, yeah.
There were some great aspects of the haunt. And I'm not going to talk about me being teabagged by the inflatable cat. But I will talk about the shake bridge that was built in a matter of hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Gavin put maybe 2 to 3 hours into that whole project.
And it was just as good as going out and buying one for X number of thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
The scenes were a little chaotic, but you work with what you got, and there was plenty of opportunity to scare. One of my favorite scenes, still slightly underused until you got a hold of it, was the mannequin scene.
Mm-hmm.
And then and at the end of the haunt, not only did you have Chainsaw Guy, which, I'm not a big fan of chainsaws, but they work.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But that enormous cannon.
Yeah, the boom cannon.
Boom cannon. I mean, you could hear that thing all over the property. It was like,
right.
Boom. And watching people run out between the boom cannon and the Chainsaw Guy. And he had a longer bar on that chainsaw than I'm used to seeing. It was probably a 16, 18-inch bar on that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's special. It's a special modified one that he did. He's pretty proud of that thing.
But I think it was an overwhelming success. A lot more people went through than I honestly anticipated, being a free event that the city of Obetz put on. And the people did go through multiple times. And, you got to think, if they went through more than once, they must have enjoyed it the first time.
Right. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Working the queue lines and everything, I forgot about punk kids.
Right.
And how they like to mess with you. And you just try to work around them and ignore them and ignore the BS that pours out of their mouths. And you work with the people that are scared.
Right. Yep.
And I dealt with all manners of people out in the queue line. I had this one kid that would not stop getting in front of me, no matter what I did. I seriously wanted to run him over, but I was trying to be politically correct.
Mm-hmm. I'd have
Uh,
ran his ass over. I'm different.
well, I just didn't want to cause any trouble for the haunt group, or I would have multiple
Right.
times.
Well, I appreciate that.
Um, but aside from those, there were plenty of people that were scared. There was one family that came up to me. Their poor little girl, she couldn't have been any more than 4 or 5, was so terrified of me, she did not want to move.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not one to break character, but this little girl was so terrified I had to do something.
Right.
So I took him off to the side, showed her that I was a real person and that she didn't need to be scared of me. It was just for fun. And after that, I think she really enjoyed what was going on. But up until that point, I've never seen a child so terrified, and it tugged at my heartstrings.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, we don't want to terrify people. That's not what we do in haunting. We want to scare people and give them a good time. So yeah, I don't blame you for doing that. I think that was a good call.
Again, against my nature, because I would have just loved to scare the shit out of her even more. But I also respect the fact, I'm a parent, their parents.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. And we dealt with it. I mean, time just flew by. We actually worked about 2.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And
It seemed like 20 minutes, really.
it did. I had to take a couple of breaks because this old man's legs and knees aren't what they used to be. Um, but every time I come back out, I'm torturing myself because normal is boring. You have to be different. You have to move differently to make people be more nervous. And that's what I did. I don't just walk normally. I walk with a pronounced limp on my left side based on my costume and the fact that my whole left side has been shredded and ripped and zombified.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm still paying for it, but I still wouldn't trade it for anything.
Oh no, absolutely not. Just like I said, you get those moments like where you help that little girl out and showed her that it was a fun thing and not something to be terrified about. And like I said, there's all kind of diverse groups. You got the punks, you got the guys puff their chests out thinking they're tough. You got people that are there for the right reasons and are actually scared and having fun. And then you got parents where the mother uses her baby in a stroller for meat shields. It's like
Right, right. Yeah, you were telling me that story. I mean, tell everybody. I mean, this is just how do you use a baby as a meat shield? I mean, come
right.
on.
Yeah, well, the scene that you liked the most, you said had the most potential. The mannequin scene was actually my least favorite, and just for some reason, I just wasn't feeling it because I wasn't happy with how it turned out. And but like I'm kind of particular like that. If I'm going to do something, like you said, we had limited time, limited resources. There was other bumps in the road that us and the Obetz team had to overcome. And before I finish the story, the Obetz team is fantastic. I mean, those guys can build anything. Just like we were talking about the bridge, Gavin built that in 2 to 3 hours, and it had took me 2 to 3 weekends, to build. And I mean, anything we needed, I was like, hey, I need this built, or I need this cable ran, or I need this put up, I need this light hung, and they were all over it. I mean, so kudos to the Obetz team and their staff. And and they even did a pretty good job haunting as well. The electric chair scene was pretty cool. So yeah, kudos to them. But yeah, like I said, with the limited resources we had and the mannequins we actually had gotten from Carnage, Mia and the folks at Carnage, helped us out and supported us in this endeavor. And so we took the mannequins, and I was just like, we were going to dress them up and make them in the ghost and have a live actor as a ghost too, and then come out and get them. But we couldn't get, with the staffing and everything we had, we didn't have we didn't have enough people to put in there, and B, people was not really wanting to do that scene. And so it was just kind of a scene with a flashing light, and like you said, you enjoyed it and you thought it had great potential, and I understand that too, but just I wasn't happy with it because we didn't have an actor in there, and it wasn't really decorated as good as I wanted it because we didn't have the time. So I found it, there was a corner, after they leave that scene, they turn the corner. So as I was roaming through the whole haunt, I'd make sure the props were still in the right place. Everybody was okay, kind of like zone captain type stuff as well. And once I found that corner and I started making it my own, I kind of like lost track of roaming the halls and just kind of stayed in that area. And, if the way I saw it, I turned lemon into lemonade, because I mean, people were getting freaked out just looking at the scene because they knew something was in there and there wasn't. And then, there was fog blocking where I was. And then I'd come through the fog around the corner on them. And I mean, I had people hitting the ground. I had people running, screaming, knocking into the walls. And then the meat shield thing we were talking about, it was a young couple. I don't know if they're boyfriend, girlfriend, or married, but they had a baby in a baby stroller, like a real live baby, a real human being. And first I thought, that's kind of odd. You're bringing a baby in a stroller through this big, loud, boisterous haunt, So they turn a corner and the dad's pushing the baby stroller. So of course I jump his girlfriend or wife, whatever. And, she was like falling all over the place and scared to death and screaming and yelling. And I had her going so bad that she literally ripped the stroller out of her boyfriend or husband's hands and put her baby in front of me, and was like moving the stroller left to right, blocking me. And as I was looking at the kid's like shaking left and right. And I'm like, God, I was like, we're going to kill this kid, So I backed off immediately. I'm like, she's going to give this kid whiplash or something, So I backed off. And then the only thing I could think of, I just growled and I was like, that's cheating, like that. And her boyfriend or husband, he was totally on my side 100%. And he's like, yeah, that's cheating. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, just cheating. You can't do that. Because I think he was actually scared too. And he thought I was going to turn on him, So, right. But that's the first time I'd ever experienced that. I was like, what kind of mother puts her child in front of danger to block it, to protect herself, and it struck me real funny. I was cracking up. I mean, it was an awesome moment because they were all having fun, except for I think the mom actually really was scared of me. But I mean, the boyfriend or dad, he was having a blast and he was cracking up, and the baby was just getting shook. She's got baby shaking syndrome or some shit. I don't know. But it was a pretty comical scene and it was good. Like I said, they all had fun and was, screaming and laughing and all that. So it was pretty cool.
In all my years of haunting, I've seen, usually it's the boyfriend that's girlfriend in front is the meat shield.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a first, I've never heard of somebody using a baby as a meat shield.
Yeah. I wish I had a camera up or something to where I'd had video proof, because I was laughing my ass off inside. I was trying to stay in character, but I so bad just wanted to just start busting out laughing like this. I've never seen this before. But it was great.
I got to wonder about that kid. I mean,
and the kid wasn't even reacting. The kid was just looking around. It wasn't laughing or crying or screaming, or it wasn't scared at all. It was just sitting there chilling, just like, I'm going for a ride.
Yeah, but I bet you in coming years that kid has nightmares.
Probably.
Gonna be seated in the subconscious. Mom used me as a meat shield. Thanks.
Right. Maybe that triggered something. Him or her. I can't tell if it was a boy or a girl in the stroller, but maybe that'll turn that person into one of the best haunters ever created.
Either a haunter or a serial killer. One of the two.
One of the two. Yeah, but it was pretty cool. So that scene like grabbed me, and I got so many good scares out of it. I just stayed there and I was like, I'm not a big fan of this scene, but I figured out a way to make it work. And, like I said, I had people, and we were on concrete too. So I'm sure there's a bunch of scuffed knees and elbows and palms out there, because I had people hitting the concrete and crawling and running and falling. And I'm sure just like everybody else did. So, so I'm pretty sure there were some scraped up body parts that night.
Well, I've got to say that, the amount of square footage
mm-hmm.
had for this haunt still blows my mind, because they went from one end of the stadium to the other.
Oh yeah. It was a big walk, and there's a lot of room for, like you said, a lot of room for improvement, and just takes some more planning. And like I said, we're not going to wait. Once we get everything, the smoke clears, and the Obetz people get back to work on Monday, and I'm going to go over there and basically figure out what we're doing. But I'm pretty sure, I mean, they were so pleased with us and so grateful that we came and helped them, that I'm sure they're going to want us back next year. And so I don't know if we're going to do the stadium or if we're going to move it back out into the woods where it used to be. So, either way, but yeah, we're going to do more planning to where we can buy props. And they've even already talked about it, showing interest in going to Trans World and Midwest Honors Convention with us, and footing the bill for that. And because they want to go and buy a couple props and buy some stuff that they think we need. And like I said, the Obetz builders and workers are so friggin' great. If we buy 2 or 3 good expensive props, they'll go in and see how they're made, and they'll just start making their own. That's how talented this group of people is. So yeah, like I said, there's plans for future ones, even plans for possibly doing longer days. And so we just got to sit down and talk about the aftermath of Friday and see where everybody's head is, and go from there. But yeah, like I said, they have resources, they have the space, they have the property, they got everything it takes to make a great haunt. So that's what we're hoping happens here.
Well, I can tell you right now that in my little handy dandy notebook,
Mhm.
if you end up going back out to the woods, I have designed a haunt based on a woods type theme.
Well, if they decide we're going back out to the woods, we're definitely going to take a look at that.
Um, it was one of the first things I ever designed, and I think given the opportunity, it would work really well. It's a specific theme,
Mhm.
um, but I don't want to give away too much. I mean, we'll talk about it off the air, but
Oh yeah, yeah. You don't want to give everything away.
I don't want to give away the whole thing. But it's going to have some Native American influence. Let's
Oh,
just say.
nice. That'd be cool. Yeah, like I said, another thing that they are discussing is, because like I said, it's going to be their haunt. I'm not an owner of the haunt like I was with the trail, which
Right.
thankfully, I'm kind of thankful for that, because that's more stress than I want to deal with right now. And
Right.
but they're basically going to hand the haunt over, because what it used to be is their workers would work their Obet City jobs all day, and then they would work on the haunt at night. So their staff is exhausted by the end of the season, and
Sure.
it's just for a one night event. So they basically want to take the haunt part and hand it over to me and my people and everybody that I'm working with, and have us handle it, which means staffing as well. They said they want me to control all the staffing of the haunt. So I say I've gotten advice from you and stuff like that. So I'm actually considering starting a group of haunters, not like a traveling actor group per se, because I don't really see us,
Not
going that route and traveling.
right. Not like mall, but
Yeah, no, 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 not like mall where they travel around and all that, but just like a group of actors for specifically the Obetz haunt. And then
right.
also, if we have other actors and they want to work around the Columbus area, like we got Carnage, Fear Columbus, even Hoochie or whatever, even there, if they want to act at other haunts in the area that's close and they can make a couple bucks doing it, then we could have those haunts reach out to us like, hey, we need 3 actors, do you got anybody or something, so. But yeah, I don't want to do like the traveling thing, like we're sending them to other states and other areas, not like that. But they basically want to, us to staff the Obetz haunt. So we're gonna work on building basically a haunt team again, to where we
Nice.
know the Obetz hunt's completely covered, and then
Right.
maybe even help some of the local haunts around the area. Because like I said, Carnage has stepped up and been 100% supportive of this project of us, and we'd like to repay them back. Like if they need some people, I'd like to be able to help them get people, so they can fully staff their haunt, because that was a big issue this year for many haunts across the country and probably the world, I'm assuming, is staffing of haunts and not having enough people and nobody wanting to do it. And so maybe we can help the little local Columbus area or something with that, by our getting a group of haunters together or something.
Well, I've got to say that Mia and company have been absolutely amazing this Halloween season.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, my shout out to Mia. I love you, Mia. You do awesome, and working with Donnie and everything is just it's a give and take. This is what haunting is all about. It's not about competition. It's
Hmm.
about working together.
Yep.
And Carnage was, I mean, she helped you out with props and mannequins, and
Hmm.
it, that's awesome. I mean, you guys can work together. I mean, next year you could do something where, if they make it through your haunt, they can get a discount at Mia's haunt,
Yeah.
something like that. Just it's all about camaraderie. It's not about competition. I mean, you want everybody to enjoy Halloween, whether it's at your haunt or somebody else's haunt, or if you do it right at both.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm doing. Like I said, I still work with Carnage and for Carnage. And when I explained to them about this this Obetz project, and I told them there was going to be some days that I was going to have to miss because I'd be over there building, they were completely fine with it. And like I said, they donated some props for us and helped us out. And, we had a stack of their postcards for advertising. We passed them out during that night and got some of their information in people's hands. And they even was with us at the Zucchini Fest for the wrestling, and they passed out some stuff. So yeah, it's a give and take, and like I said, we did the Obetz Haunt Friday night. And Saturday night, I was back at Carnage, busting my butt and zone captaining and keeping everybody hydrated and covering actresses and actors and scaring people and doing what we do. So it's going to be the same thing, just like with the building. I've had a couple of their builders say, hey, if you ever need help with building stuff and I'm not doing nothing, let me know. I'll come help you. And I'm doing the same thing with them, that like the people that know about Carnage, they only got the 2 haunts right now. They're building a third, this season. They just didn't have the time to get the third one built. And so when they start, ready to do the framing and mapping it out and stuff, I'll be over there with Carnage, helping them build the framing and setting it all up. And so, yeah, it's a give and take. You work with people instead of against people. And then, like you said, I'm going to definitely had that idea on the table to work out something with, the other haunts and say, hey, here's our stuff, here's their stuff. You get a, $5 discount or something, I don't know, or whatever. And, just work on haunts or just get out their information. Like, here's other haunts in the area that are real good. Go see these guys as well. It's like you said, it's a give and take, and it's the way it should be. It shouldn't be, well, I don't like these people or this haunt because they're not our haunt. That's just ridiculous.
Well, in all my years of haunting, I've seen it numerous times. I mean, down in the Cincinnati area, there was a competition between 2 major haunts that, it was like almost to the point to where it's like it was an animosity between them.
Mm-hmm.
I think recently they've patched that up, but there's no sense. I mean, you need to promote each other.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. How much business do you actually think that those 2 haunts lost because they were battling against each other instead of trying to work together and promote each other? You know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, you're not that far apart. Work together. You could get even more income,
Mm-hmm.
But some people, I mean, I know actors that get very defensive about their own haunts.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons that I kind of stepped back and started Mall to begin with, is because it's not about, this haunt being any better than that haunt. It's about camaraderie and working with different haunts and giving them everything they can possibly use. So, always work together. And fortunately, Mia is very open-minded with Carnage, and that's great for you guys. And it's great for her. It costs her nothing and it helps her out.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, even when I showed up there Saturday night to work at the Carnage, I had numerous people, Mia included, coming up, how'd it go? Was it successful? Did you guys pull it off? How many people were there? And I mean, everybody was like honestly intrigued and wanted to know, was supporting us. And, they were happy to find out that we had a good turnout and it was successful. And, like I said, a lot of haunts don't do that. If some places you'd go in, they'd be like, well, I hope you bombed. I hope it sucked, but it was like 100% opposite. Everybody was excited and happy for us that it went well. And like I said, it just, shows you that there is good haunts and stuff out there, and that's who you want to associate yourself with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was, and it was kind of cool too. And I'm going to kind of shift over to the wrestling part of things.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did you have a referee working your haunt, but you also had the Arnold Sports World Kids and Teens Expo champion lurking about in the Undertaker scene.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like I say, I kind of hooked him in. Our referee, Peachy Rodriguez, I hooked him in a few years back at the trail. He was already interested in haunting. And when he found out I was building one, he was like, I'll come and act, so he came in and became our werewolf and stuff, and did a great job. So, so we've had Peachy on the team and stuff. And then oddly enough, just out of the blue, I mentioned Carnage needing some people. And And Onyx was like, well, yeah, I'll come give it a try. And he worked that first night, and he's been hooked ever since. And he's even messaged me personally and said, man, I want to thank you for introducing me to this haunted house stuff. He said, I'm having so much fun. He's like, this is like a huge stress relief for me. And so yeah, so now he's hooked. He worked our Obetz haunt. He's been to Carnage numerous times, and he's pretty much solidified his role as the one of the undertakers in the cemetery at Carnage, and he's having a blast with it. And like I said, you just never know who's going to be interested or not. And I encourage everybody to at least try it once. And but yeah, so I've converted him into Superman Onyx champion to Superman Onyx Undertaker haunter.
It's funny, when we were getting ready Friday night, he says, man, I got to be the most buff Grim Reaper you have ever seen.
Yeah, we had this big cloak for him, and I guess it was like way too big and he couldn't walk in it. So we had this other like cloak. It was like a spandex type material, like a Grim Reaper type outfit. And I guess Terry got it for him. I wasn't in there. And I come walking in, and that looked like somebody just painted it on him. It was so tight. I was like, what the hell are you doing? He's like, hey, man, it shows my figure. I was like, all right, dude, go for it. He even asked me if he could keep it. He's like, can I use this at Carnage? I'm like, go ahead, take it with you. I don't care.
I got to say, though, for people that are listening that don't know who Onyx is, and if you don't, you should. But anyway, this man is 303 pounds, and it's all chest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a big boy.
He is big and broad and solid. And, I'd be scared just seeing him in a haunt without a costume on, much less with a costume on.
Yeah, he gets some good scares, but he gets into it, and he keeps his character pretty good. But yeah, he doesn't need to. He could just walk around and just come around corners at people, and he'd get them good. But so yeah, so I got two I've converted. I'm gonna work on some more.
Yeah, I mean, I thought there would be more out there. I mean, if you look around the wrestling landscape, you see a lot of characters that have that vibe. Like, for example, Danhausen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You've got Rosemary in Impact Wrestling. And
got Abaddon.
Abaddon, exactly. That's what I was going to bring up. Abaddon out of AEW, which, by the way, she is going to be at Squared Circle Expo II next year in April.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on the dates right now, but
as will we.
As we will, yes. But I definitely want to see if we can talk to Abaddon, because I mean, she epitomizes wrestling and horror.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I mean,
yeah, and yeah, like I said, we joke about me converting two wrestlers to haunters and all this and that, but I mean, I encourage anybody in the pro wrestling business that does that, go to a haunted house and give it a try. I mean, it's basically character acting. You dress up as a character, just like with wrestling. You go and you put on a performance, just like with wrestling. It's live improv, just like with wrestling. And like you're wrestling, is one aspect of a business, and haunting, it's totally different, but it's still the same, and it's fun. You get that first couple scares and you're hooked. And it's great for improv, because you're going to get customers that come at you with different things all the time, like, you don't scare me, or or they're freaking out, or they make fun of you, or say something like that. And which I'm not going to, I'm going to tell this story because I thought it was funny, and my daughter will think it was funny. But my daughter goes to Ohio State, she's a bigger girl. She's a heavy girl. And she was in the zombie scene working with Onyx and with our little actor Chance and all that. And I guess this kid come through the haunt and was going in through the cemetery, and she come out at him, in her zombie outfit, and was at a zombie. And he was like, man, you're one of the most well-fed zombies I've ever seen. And she said she wanted to laugh so bad, but she said she held it in. And she was like, that was probably one of the greatest lines I've ever heard. but I mean, it's just improv. And she was like, she's a zombie, so she ain't going to talk. So she was like, I don't even know what I would have came back with on that, She was like, but I mean, it's just stuff like that. You get hit with all these different lines, and you got to, work on your improv to come back or react or something. And, again, just like another story, I got back fisted in the jaw. I got cocked in the jaw on Friday night by a soccer mom. I was after her kids. It was her and her husband and their 3 kids. And I had her kids going real good. And then I kind of backed off the kids like I was going back to my scene. And then I snuck up behind the soccer mom and got in her ear and snorted. And she hit me with this back fist. She must practice karate or something. she hit me right in the square in the jaw with this back fist and snapped my head back. And I was like, good night, man. I was like, what the hell? And she felt horrible. She was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. She kept apologizing. So then I kind of broke character for a quick second because her kids were a little bit ahead. So they couldn't hear me. And, she was apologizing and her husband was there. And I was like, no worries. Don't worry about it. I was like, that's part of it. Just to let her know it was okay. Cause I could tell she felt terrible, but yeah, she cold cocked me a good one. But it's just, like I said, it's just stuff like that. It's character development, character acting, live improv. Just like we had when we did our WrestleHorror course, our WrestleHorror thing. So I encourage any pro wrestler, independent, professionally signed, whatever, get inside a haunt and do it. It's a freaking blast.
It is. And I see so many pro wrestlers that dress up in cosplay and everything. It's to give it a chance. Go work in a haunted house.
Yeah, for
Have
sure.
fun with it. I mean, you like dressing up like that, go out and scare some people. I mean,
oh yeah.
When I was working the queue line, I came up upon one woman. She's probably in her mid to late 20s. And I was coming up behind her in the queue line. She didn't see me. Her friends, of course, did, but they didn't say anything. And I got right next to her and I sniffed. And she dropped to the ground screaming, And then, the grassy areas they have out there in front of the haunt.
Yep.
I was standing in the middle of one and I was just sitting there observing people. I was not moving. And people would start coming up to me. And there was this teenager and her boyfriend and their friends. And she gets right up to me and she goes, "You don't scare me."
Did 2020 take its toll on your fitness? Well, body slam the pandemic and get back in shape with WrestleFit. This innovative program combines all the fitness regimens you'll need to reach your goals. The WrestleFit workout will bring strength training, cardio, and the world of professional wrestling together in a fun, new, and exciting way. Have yourself a blast working out with dumbbells, kettlebells, slam balls, ropes, tires, and an 18-foot full-size wrestling ring. The WrestleFit workout isn't just for pro wrestlers. The WrestleFit workout is for everybody. At the Now Training Center, you can pursue your fitness goals and learn how to train like a professional wrestler without all the bumps, bruises, and slams with the WrestleFit workout. Go to www.newohiowrestling.com/training for more information or stop by the Now Training Center at 625 Eastgate Parkway, Blacklick, Ohio, 43004, Unit 6137.
Now, I'm not very eloquent in my Meathook Jim character, but I do speak occasionally. And I just looked at her. I tilted my head and I said, "You smell different when you're asleep." She lost it. She ran over to the boyfriend. "What do you say?" And she told him, and she's like losing her mind. And he's like, "Well, you shouldn't have messed with him,
Yeah.
He said, "I smell different when I'm asleep." How does he know that? I know everything. I had so much fun. Thank you for dragging me out of retirement for a couple of hours.
Oh, there you go. I appreciate it. Like I said, I appreciate the effort and coming out and having fun with us and helping us. And, just like with everything else. And, like I said, it's gonna, I think they were really happy. The mayor and everybody seemed really pleased. So I think we're going to be back. And, like I said, on the business side of it, it's good for all of us because it's a paid gig. We're all getting paid. And, so, get a haunt and make a little bit of money and have fun. To me, that's living the dream. If I could do wrestling and haunting and make money and, enough money to live, that's my dream right there.
I would love to be able to do that as well.
Oh yeah. So I'll say we're working on it. We'll see what we can get out of it. And But yeah, like, yeah, again, thanks to everybody that came out and went through, and thanks to everybody that helped. Like the whole Obetz staff was phenomenal.
Oh, they were great. They
Oh
were
yeah. Yeah. The haunt team that we brought in, everybody did a great job. And so yeah, I mean, I couldn't have been more happy with it. So I'm excited to see where it goes. But yeah, again, pay attention to haunting, man. It's a great practice for wrestling, wrestlers, and give it a chance. Again, back to what I said, it's an amazing experience if you're into it.
If there's any wrestlers out here listening to this that are interested, reach out to Donnie, reach out to myself.
Mm-hmm.
If it's something you think you might want to try, it doesn't hurt to try. And believe me, I think you'll have a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And if you think you can't do it and you're a wrestler, you already have the tools you need to do it.
Yeah, got everything you need.
Right. And if you need help, me and Donnie are available anytime to help you.
Mm-hmm.
We can incorporate wrestling, like we've got the WrestleHorror concept. We can incorporate that into your character.
Yeah, which I am going to make a room if and when we do the Obetz Haunt again. I am going to dedicate a room to the WrestleHorror concept so we can test it out. So so you can count on a little more violence in one of our scenes next year for sure.
So it'll definitely be a more brutal room.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Good. And brutality scares people. So
yep.
Especially when you make it look real. And as pro wrestlers, that's what you do.
Yep. Oh yeah. Like I said, I've had a couple ideas in my head that I'm trying to flesh out the best ones. I'll probably have like 10 more ideas before that time. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I might even be involved in that scene myself, just so I can get in there and get a little violent, bring the old shank out,
Uh-oh.
But yeah. So who knows? But yeah, I'd say I definitely want to add that scene to the haunt next year. And I might even try to pitch me, if you're listening, I want to do a violent scene. Give me the green light.
Dude, it's Halloween right now, and it's my favorite day of the year. And for those of you listening, this is also my 3rd wedding anniversary.
Yep. Happy anniversary.
Thanks. Me and the Lady of Darkness, she's actually had to work today, but she's dressed up as a witch at work today, similar to what she wore Friday night, but a little different. She did some modifications.
Yep. She seemed to enjoy herself out there too. I've seen her a few times out there.
She did. She absolutely enjoyed it. She woke up yesterday in a really great mood. I was sore, but
yeah, right. There you go. She got to release a little bit of that stress and stuff,
Yeah, considering the October we've had.
Right, exactly.
This has been the shittiest October I've had in 20 years. But a lot of that went away Friday night when we both got to relieve some stress. And
oh yeah, it's what it's about.
But let's talk about Squared Circle Expo real quick before we sign off.
Yeah, we kind of touched on it, so we might as well get into it for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be April 15th and 16th. Indianapolis, 2022, Indianapolis, Indiana, at the Wyndham near the airport. And they've got a great lineup. They're still working. they've got plenty of time to get this lineup going. But so far, we mentioned Abaddon, which I'm excited about. I really hope that we can have a talk with Abaddon, because I think she would just be amazing for the WrestleHorror concept itself.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But they've got the FTR is scheduled to be there. Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood are going to be there. We've got Santana and Ortiz, again from AEW. Those guys are going to be there.
Nice.
You've also got the Lucha Brothers, Penta Zero and Ray Phoenix. Again, Penta Zero is a great horror type character.
Yeah.
Again, we mentioned Abaddon. Sammy Guevara is going to be back again. A lot of AEW people so far.
Yeah. Yeah, they made a comment on their Facebook page about because people ask how come it was mainly all AEW guys and gals, and it's basically just because they're the ones that's responded first. They have other people reached out to other people and other promotions, major promotions. So I'm sure the list will get more broad and expanded. Just, like I said, we're still almost, a year away pretty much, or 6 months away.
About 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's still plenty of time. And, but yeah, it's just the reason there's so many AEW stars announced is because they've responded first, is pretty much all it is.
Right. But, with Ring of Honor going on a quote unquote hiatus.
Yeah.
You got all this talent out there that they could pick up for this show. I mean, So don't be surprised if you see somebody like, and I'm not going to say this is going to happen, but John Gresham. I mean,
yeah.
Who else? Angelina Love, Mandy Leone. These are people that work for Ring of Honor that, you never know. They might show up on the guest list. So just keep checking out their Facebook page, Squared Circle Expo II, and see what's coming up next, because we're excited about it. WrestleHorror is going to be there again. We're not going to miss that. Something that's in our backyard. I mean,
right. Absolutely.
We had an amazing time the first year around, and we're looking for even a better time coming up in April.
Yep. Yeah. We already got our vendor space reserved and our hotel rooms booked. And so, yeah, we're good to go.
Yeah, and this time I'm staying in the host hotel. I'm not staying across the street.
There you go. Yep. Same here.
Where they don't take MasterCard.
Right. That was the dumbest thing I ever heard.
I can understand not taking Discover. I can understand not taking American Express, but not MasterCard. Come on.
Right.
That was just dumb.
But
yeah, this time, we'll be in the same hotel as the stars.
Yep.
So you never know who you're going to run into in the elevator, because how many people do we run into in the elevator?
Oh yeah, a good ton.
Vicky Guerrero, Medusa, Andrew Anderson. Anybody else?
I'm sure there is. They just I slip in my mind at the moment. But yeah, I'd say, because I kept coming off the elevator like, hey, it was Billy Gunn. We was in there with Billy Gunn. Yeah. Right. So, but yeah, there was numerous ones we were in there with.
Right. Yeah, so it's going to be a good time. And, the organizers, Ed, Heather, Adolfo, you guys did an amazing job. And we can't wait to see Squared Circle Expo II, because, with the pandemic restrictions in 2021, I think it's just going to blow up in 2022 with everything, and people realizing that Squared Circle Expo is the real deal. I think that the attendance is going to be a lot more than it was.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a crazy weekend.
It is. And we're going to be in the thick of it.
Absolutely.
And this time we're doing video.
Yeah. Yep. And we got to try to do a Boogeyman Shauna Reed part 2 if we can.
Right. And happy Halloween to Boogeyman, by the way. It's his favorite time of the year as well. And he was just downright creepy.
Oh yeah.
I've never quite gotten over the worms thing, but
yeah.
To each his own.
Right. Everybody's got their thing.
Right. So what else, Donnie? I mean, we've covered quite a bit over the past 45 minutes or so.
Oh yeah. No, I think that was kind of, good. We just wanted to touch on the success of the Obetz Haunt, our first crack at it. And, thankful to everybody that participated. Thank you guys so much. And looking forward to next year's being bigger and better. And then, look forward to more wrestling stuff, Squared Circle Expo. I'm still in talks with the Arnold on if we're going to be allowed to come in or not. They're still trying to get their staging and everything all situated to make sure we got enough room for us to participate. So I'll update everybody on that when we hear. Yep. Still fingers crossed. But we're just kind of in limbo, getting ready to ramp up. The Halloween season's ending, and I got mad yesterday. I don't remember what store I went into, but I went into a store yesterday, Christmas. And and they already had the Christmas stuff up. I'm like, it's not even Halloween, not even over yet. Like, take your shit down. It's like, I got pissed, but that's how it's going to be. So we're going to, we're wrapping up Halloween season this weekend, and we're going to be back getting into the Christmas cheer and holiday season, and I guess they're going to totally forget about Thanksgiving. So,
Well, you know, when I was a kid growing up, Christmas didn't show up till after Thanksgiving,
right. Yeah. That's when we always did it. We put our tree up the weekend after Thanksgiving.
and stuff wasn't in the stores until after Thanksgiving.
All right.
Now, I mean, it's in the middle of October. I was shopping at Michael's and there was Christmas stuff up. It's like, what?
All right. Yeah. I'm trying to think of where we were. I don't know. I just ran, like I said, my stupid concussions and brain damage, triggers my memory. I can only remember certain things, but I just remember it pissed me off that I saw, which I love Christmas. Don't get me wrong. Christmas is one of my favorite holidays, but it just pissed me off when I saw a Christmas tree in a store when it's supposed to be Halloween season,
Right? That drives me nuts. I mean,
Mhm.
and I actually celebrate Yule anyway. So
Yeah.
I haven't had a Christmas tree up in years. I have a Yule log,
Yeah.
but
Hey, everybody's got their thing.
and I don't down anybody for. I love Christmas season. Don't get me wrong, I do.
Mhm.
You
You just celebrate it differently. That's all.
well, and Chris teases me sometimes because I like to watch Christmas movies.
Mhm.
One of my favorite Christmas movies is Adam Sandler's Eight Crazy Nights.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
Christmas Pranks and Christmas Vacation. I can't go a season without watching Christmas Vacation.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I celebrated Christmas for years. So, I'm not the type of person to say, "Oh, well, you celebrate Christmas, you're no good." Enjoy it. I do.
Yep. Mhm.
And it's, but it's still Halloween. We're still on Halloween. It's still October 31st as we're recording this.
Right. Yeah. You celebrate Christmas when it's time. It's like right now we're in spooky season.
Right. You don't celebrate Christmas until after Thanksgiving, damn it.
Right.
After Thanksgiving.
Yep.
But Donnie, like I said earlier, you made a bad October better by having me up.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. You, like I say, you guys definitely helped us out, and we couldn't be more thankful for it.
For those of you listening, went through a lot of things in October. I mean, we had a cancer scare with Chris, and then her car got destroyed by a drunk driver. Fortunately, she wasn't in it. And then some idiot backed into a rental car. So it's been a rough October. We finally squared up the settlement. We're just waiting for the money now. Didn't get as much as we thought, but at least her car will be paid off and we'll have a little bit more to put down on another one.
There you go. That's all you can ask for, really.
So, but it's just been so hard for me this October. And the fact that I was able to get out and relieve some stress and scare some people meant the world to me in spite of the pain I am still in.
Yeah. Yep. That's what it's all about. Like I say, I get to my wife, Terry, she says I have anger issues, and maybe I do sometimes, maybe I don't. It's like, that's up for debate, but that also helps me as well. I get out there and I grunt and growl and groan and snarl and sniff people's hair and stuff like that, and it relieves some stress because I make people laugh, I make people scream, and I scare people and I entertain people and they have fun. And that's my favorite thing about haunting is if I can get somebody to scream as loud as they possibly can and then start laughing immediately after. That's my goal. That's what I call a big win. So like I said, and every time I come home I'm drained and I'm exhausted, my body hurts, but I'm content. There's no stress, everything's good. So I appreciate haunting for many reasons just as well as you do.
Yep. And I wish I was physically able to do more. One of these days, one of these days, maybe soon.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, just do like me. I wish I could get back in the ring full time, but instead I just stay in the back because it hurts a lot less. So maybe that'll be your haunt, your haunt theme now. You just work the back.
Right. Well, as long as I'm involved in some way, I'm happy.
There you go.
As long as somebody's getting scared because of me in some way, shape, or form.
Yep.
That's what it's about to me. Whether I'm physically acting and scaring you, or I've helped design something that scares you, or I've taught somebody how to a different technique to scare you. As long I can live vicariously through other people if I need to.
There you go. Yeah, we had a wheelchair in our haunt. We'll just dress you up in a hospital gown, throw blood and guts all over you, put you in a wheelchair, and just have people wheel you around.
Incapacitated yet,
Yeah.
but it's been fun. It's been an amazing Halloween. Again, I wish that Chris didn't have to work today, being our anniversary, but hey,
All
you know,
right.
it is.
Yeah.
So we'll
Just have to
celebrate.
celebrate it after. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. We will. I don't want to go to work tomorrow, but I
I
should
heard that. Yeah, I got to go over to Obetz tomorrow and get all the stuff that I'm bringing back. Like, I had like a chair and my tools and a couple, a couple little things that we needed to bring back with us. And then, so I'll be over there working again tomorrow, getting all that stuff cleaned up. And that's another thing about the Obetz staff. They got to have the whole haunt tore down, all the props boxed up, because they box everything, label it, put it on a skid, shrink wrap it, then take forklifts and put it on their shelves in their storage building. So they have to have that whole thing cleaned up and tore down by next weekend, because there's another track and field event coming in. So
wow, I don't give them much time, does it?
no, sure don't. That's their go. They fly by the seat of their pants. They're so busy and stuff. But kudos to them. They got it down to a science. Like I said, even with all the adversities and stuff we ran into, there was a couple COVID scares. So there was some quarantines and stuff that had to happen. And like they were, bare bones staffing at a lot of the times. And, we were able to get it done and everything. So, kudos to them for being persistent and as good as they are. Like I said, they got this event stuff down to a science. So I'm happier than heck to be working with them.
Well, I think the city of Obetz and Fortress Obetz are amazing that they do all these things for the community at no cost to the.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like I said, Zucchini Fest is free. The Scare Fest event was free. The haunt was free. They gave out they had 2,500 bags of candy to give out to the kids. So the bags of candy were free. And yeah, like I said, that's great that they do that for the community and stuff. And I support it 100%. That's why, I'm excited to be involved with them.
Well, they didn't scrimp on the candy bags either, because Chris grabbed a couple and there's some good candy in there.
Well, I had like the two or three in my scene. I was like, kids dropped them and I scared them and I wanted to give them back. Like, man, they need their candy. It's Halloween, but I couldn't fight. They were already gone. They were running. So I was just like, sorry about your luck. Should have held on to it.
They had M&Ms, they had Snickers, they had Milky Ways.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, Mr. Good bars, and they had Dum Dums in there too. It was a mixture of stuff, but
yeah, and you figured 2,500 bags filled with candy, how much money that costs, and they just give it away for free.
Exactly, and that's what amazes me about the city and what they do. Like you said, the Zucchini Fest and with the haunt and everything. What a great community. And it's like it makes me sit here and think, damn it, why do I live so freaking far away?
Right. Yeah, like I say, I'm blessed and happy, so like I said, to be associated with them. And like I said, the more we get going with it, the more we'll have you up here.
Well, we do have a branch of my company in Grove City.
Oh, see, there you go. You're 15 minutes away. And we're in Grove City all the time.
So, you never know. I mean, I'd have to sell my house, but
right. Leave the graveyard, huh?
Yeah, I'm kind of accustomed to the graveyard,
There you go. I think it'd be kind of cool, actually. I wouldn't bother me. It's like,
well, I got to get you down here sometime, man. You've never been to my house.
So. No, I haven't. Not yet.
I've been to your house multiple times, but you've never been to mine.
Yeah.
Take you out in the graveyard. I can show you a bunch of headstones with my last name on them.
Oh, really? Nice. That'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be cool. Do you know any of them personally?
No.
No?
But actually, I met one because when I first started haunting professionally, I went to work at Kings Island my first year. And the lady that was running HR, her maiden name is Millspaugh.
Mm-hmm.
And those are her relatives in the graveyard.
Ah, okay. Gotcha.
So I'm sure we'll be related somewhere down the line.
Right. On one of those branches.
Something like 500 of us in the country.
Oh, really? That ain't bad.
Yeah. So I'm sure somewhere along the line we're related because my family is from the Ohio Valley area from here to Illinois.
Hmm.
So I'm sure, we might be distant cousins 12 times removed or something, but
Yeah, somewhere there's a bloodline.
right. Because it's not a common name. So
Right.
at least we don't have any inbreeding.
Yeah, there you go.
But I know about.
Right. I'll say that you know of anyway. That'd be a good hunters though.
Yeah. So I don't know. I've run out of things to say, Donnie. I mean,
Yeah, no, I think we covered everything and got it all off our chest and again, yeah, thank you guys for coming up and helping us with it. It was, I think, for what we had, to work with and to do, and I think it was a great success. And we're looking forward to putting the rubber to the road with more, more time to work on it and more planning and more brainstorming and get more props and items to put in there and make it even better. So I'm looking forward to the future.
well, definitely more planning is going to make it so much better.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I mean, it was good this time around, but we want to knock it out of the park.
Oh yeah.
We want people to walk away going, holy shit.
Right. Yep. That's going to be the goal. Like I said, the officials and the staff of Obetz were impressed with what we did and the little time we had. And so, yes, like I said, I think it's going to be, full steam ahead. And I said, even like I said, their city officials were, they're interested in all of us going to Trans World and Midwest Haunters, and they want to learn about the haunting business. And I'm like, what kind of city does that, So, and they love Halloween and doing the haunt for the community and all that. So, I mean, we may be heading to Trans World this year.
Great. Get them to foot my hotel bill too.
Right. There you go. Yeah.
As an extra consultant or something.
There you go. Yeah, that's why Mike was excited. He's like, we're going to go to Trans World. I'm like, we might. Like, they said they're interested in going, looking at everything and maybe buying some stuff. So, yeah, so he's pretty pumped about it.
That's awesome. Well,
thanks for listening.
On this Halloween edition,
make sure you follow us on all of our social media outlets. Facebook.com/WrestleHorror. Instagram
give him a plug. I don't care.
I was
Twitter
ready to say Big Scary
WrestleHorror.
Show.
On YouTube, the WrestleHorror channel.
When you do your
You
Big
can
Scary
also
Show
find us
stuff
on
too,
our
isn't it?
website,
We do it on Mondays now.
www.wrestlehorror.com.
With that being said, on this Halloween edition of the WrestleHorror podcast,
Right.
I am Meathook Jim along with Donnie Hoover. Happy Halloween. You'll be seeing and hearing this on November 1st.
Mm-hmm.
So we hope you guys had a great Halloween, and reach out to us if you need any help for next year.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm Meathook Jim along with Shank Dorsey.
Yeah, there you go.
We're out.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media outlets. Facebook.com/WrestleHorror. Instagram @WrestleHorror. Twitter @WrestleHorror. On YouTube at the WrestleHorror channel. And you can also find us on our website, www.wrestlehorror.com.